Hello and welcome to another weekly supplier diversity and small business economic impact report. I'm your host Jamie White, and we're getting to another economic impact report. So let's go ahead and let's get started. Well, I guess before we start, as always, I appreciate all the support. Don't forget to like, subscribe, follow, leave a comment, and share the video with your coworkers and or friends and or family. All right. So first thing that we're going to talk about is the big news that came out today, which is the jobs report. Now, I decided to go with the CNBC article on this just because it showed a pretty cool chart that lets you know or gives you a really quick look at how many jobs were added per industry. So as you can see, leisure and hospitality was the big one. Information was the least with negative 4,000. But I mean, as you can see, again, leisure and hospitality 34,000. It was really good. One of the best Januaries that we've had in a while in terms of percentage of growth, which I'll get into in a second. But as you can see, leisurely hospitality saw giant gains that helped push the U.S. economy to add 304,000 jobs in January. So the big discussion that obviously we've all had here is how is the government shutdown going to affect the private sector? Uh, and it appears that it did not affect the private sector at all. Um, you could even argue, I mean, this is a skewed look, but you could even argue that it boosted the jobs. I'm being more funny when I say that piece. But despite the government shutdown, things are still looking up and up. If not, this is probably one of the more positive job numbers that we've seen in a while for the month of January. I'm pretty sure there's probably going to be arguments that are going to say, well, we probably could have seen an even higher job growth had the government opened up. I'm That's neither. I don't know how you would argue that, but that's probably what some people may say. But I think for the the what we're looking at right now, it's pretty good. I mean, as you can see, this was a more than 165,000 person increase versus the expected numbers from economists. So, and it just talks about, goes into different industries and kind of tells you where everything is at and whatnot. But I think the big news here is everybody thought that job growth was going to go down or not be as high as it once was, and it shattered expectations. So, congratulations to America for that. Now, if we take a look at the small business piece, as you can see, according to who is it, CBIZ, yep, CBIZ Small Business Employment Index, uh, small business accounted for 63,000 of the jobs that were reported. So for this one, they were taking, or I'm sorry, I apologize. CBIZ does not do that. They just talk about the percentage. So as you can see, across the U.S., reported a month-to-month decrease in hiring of 2.06%. But if I'm not mistaken, this is a lower decrease. Yep. So as you can see, this is a lower decrease than the 2.8% that we saw last January. We're going from December to January. So the decrease was less, um, which means that more jobs were being added from December to January versus this year. So from December 2018 to January 2019 versus December 2017 to January 2018. Now, if from ADP and Moody's, analysts reported that the job growth was about 213 jobs. Um, they were way lower than the Labor Department ended up releasing, but according to their estimate, 63,000 of those jobs, of the 213,000, were small business. So if we keep that percentage in place, we're probably looking at close to, was it 63, 20, so probably close to like 80,000 jobs. 80 to 90,000 jobs were added by small businesses if you include the Labor Department number of 304,000. I hope you're able to follow follow that. I kind of like spilling that out, but so as you can see, it just talks about January snapshot. Sorry, industries at a glance. So the industries reflected in the index, insurance and transportation posted job growth. Conversely, professional services, nonprofits, real estate, healthcare, and retail trade posted declines. And again, we're looking at small businesses here, not necessarily the bigger, larger industries as a whole. Um, but as you can see, just all around, these are pretty good numbers. I mean, the 304,000 from the Labor Department. Small business usually last year decreased from December to January 2.8%. Now it's only 2.6%, I believe. Let's check that. Don't want to get that wrong. Yep, 2.06%. I apologize. So a about almost 0.8% differential, which is really good. So no complaints from that. Job numbers are really good. As I've said in the past, I am expecting a slowdown. Um, the ones here, I'm looking at in the first quarter, end of second quarter. It's that halfway point that people are pointing to when it comes to this year. So we'll see what happens. On that note, but then again, this is great. Hopefully, this can continue. I like to be proven wrong when I say the government's going to slow down, and it not government, but things like such as job growth is going to slow down, and it doesn't. Like, continue to prove me wrong, please. Uh, okay, next up, one of the things that I wanted to talk about because everybody else is talking about it, right? Is the government shutdown and its effects. Now, I want to take a slightly different look than what we've seen in the past when it comes to the government shutdown. And everybody's looking at, hey, how's it going to affect the economy and jobs, again, in the private sector. And while that is, oh, and also obviously GDP. But, although that is a pretty big thing that we should be taking a look at, I wanted to pull this NPR article because it actually talks about more untold moral problems, but it's more so looking at just jobs for the federal government. So where's the chart at? Sleep over satisfaction. It takes a look at the federal workers' age for the government, right? So that working age for the government, right? And apparently, which just reading this article, the government has a really tough job of recruiting people. So as you can see, when it comes to the government workers, there are five. Well, let me look at this. Stir says that among federal information technology workers, there are 5 times as many people over the age of 60 as under the age of 30, right? So as you can see, just looking at the percentages, basically, so when it comes to 35 and under, that's about what 10, 5, so about 15%, 15 to 16% of the employees are 35 and under, or I'm sorry, are under the age of 35. So getting a better base is exceptionally important. And when you have a government shutdown and people aren't getting paid, I mean that just makes recruitment even worse. I mean, I think it says it kind of offhandedly, but the federal government already has a recruitment problem, right? If you're a 22, 23 graduating from college this coming spring, and you watch this play out for the last 35 days, what are you saying to yourself? Sign me up for that? Probably not. So when you're looking at recruiting and getting more people into the federal government, I mean this is definitely not going to help the cause, and we're probably going to see. I don't want to make any long-term estimates, but at least for this year, this is definitely this is definitely going to make recruiting that much tougher. I'm pretty sure. So just something. Even when you're looking at just the most straightforward answer, the most basic things, it's making things a lot tougher. So um, next up, we're taking another look at the government shutdown on small businesses, looking at the real cost. So it just 3 points here that I just kind of wanted to note that I thought was pretty interesting. Small businesses that need are getting things such as like loans or disaster assistance from the SBA. Well, you can't get loans from the SBA, but using the SBA to help them find loans. Um, or who have contracts with government. It's obviously going to affect them when it comes to cash flow, because obviously they weren't getting paid before. Hopefully they've been paid now. But if they haven't, the fact that they were, in some cases, probably had to take out loans from other lenders, with that interest rate, now they have to figure out ways to pay that off while they're getting paid. So it's kind of a muck situation there. Um, and then next up, SBA and IRS backlogs. I mean, obviously, 35-day backlog that they have to deal with, and then time is money. So costing, waiting 35 days has cost a lot of people a lot of money. Contracts were supposed to be awarded at that time. I think it was like something like 300 million in loans were backed up, and it was just costing things a lot of money. So, or a lot of people a lot of money. So just wanted to kind of note on that. Uh, Something that as we move forward, these things are still undergoing, even though we're not thinking about it. And then last up, as you know, I try to leave on you know, different note, if you will. For this one, just listen to 15 best business podcasts right now. So I'm not going to get into each one, but definitely take a look, if you will, and figure out which ones kind of work for you, because I'm always big on people listening to things that make them better entrepreneurs, better small business owners, etc. And figuring out different ways to grow. I think that this is just another way to do that. Definitely check them out, take a look, and I would recommend um, listening to a couple of podcasts uh, in your daily activity. So with that being said, thank you so much for always listening, for your support for this week. Make sure you follow, subscribe, comment, and share with people who you think may be interested in this. With that being said, take care and have a great week.